It's hard enough keeping track of your health and household. And then one day, a letter shows up. It looks official. Maybe it's from a hospital or some debt collector, or even your old utility company. You open it and your heart sinks. Another bill. But what if I told you, you might not actually owe it? I've spoken with so many people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s who've been paying bills out of fear of being sued, fear of ruining their credit, or just fear of getting it wrong. And I get it. These companies don't make it easy to understand what's real and what's not. But today, I want to walk you through something important: 6 types of bills that seniors often pay, but legally they may not have to. So before you pay another dollar you don't owe, stay with me. This might just lift a heavy weight off your shoulders. And if you've ever gotten a bill that made your stomach turn, just type yes in the comments so I know I'm not the only one who's seen this happen. Let's talk about it. Starting with something that happens way too often. 1. Surprise medical bills you don't actually owe. Let's say you end up in the hospital. Maybe it was an emergency, chest pain, a bad fall, or something that couldn't wait. You go in, you get treated, you come home, and a few weeks later, here comes the bill. And it's a big one. You're looking at it, thinking, wait, I have Medicare. Why is this so high? Or maybe you see a doctor's name you've never even heard of. That's when the confusion and the panic sets in. Here's what's really going on. Hospitals sometimes bring in doctors from outside your insurance network without telling you. So while the hospital might be covered, the emergency room doctor or anesthesiologist might not be. And they'll send you a separate bill for thousands of dollars. That's called a surprise medical bill. Sounds unfair, doesn't it? That's because it is. And the good news is there's a law to protect you. It's called the No Surprises Act, and it's been in place since 2022. Under this law, if you go to the emergency room or get treated at an in-network hospital, you cannot be charged extra by an out-of-network doctor without your written consent. If they didn't ask you and you didn't agree in writing, you shouldn't have to pay. Here's what you can do. If you get a medical bill that doesn't make sense, don't pay it right away. Call and ask for what's called an itemized bill. That's a breakdown showing every charge. Look through it carefully. If you see something you don't recognize, ask questions. And if you find out it was a surprise bill from an out-of-network doctor, you can dispute it. File a complaint with Medicare, your state's insurance department, or even call a patient advocate. You've got options and you've got rights. One more thing, always check the dates. Sometimes these bills come months later, and you forget what it's even for. Don't be afraid to say, I don't remember this. I need more information. That's not being difficult. That's being smart. You've paid your dues in life. You shouldn't be paying someone else's mistake. 2. Unwritten loans from friends or neighbors. Sometimes people maybe friends, neighbors, or even distant relatives, might say you borrowed money from them. But here's the tricky part. There's no written proof, no signed note, nothing on paper. This situation can feel confusing and stressful, especially if you don't remember borrowing money or if you thought what you gave was a gift, not a loan. Seniors can be especially vulnerable here because memory sometimes isn't as sharp, and people may try to take advantage of that. They might play on feelings of guilt or kindness, hoping you'll just pay up quietly. If you find yourself in this situation, here are some important things to keep in mind. Ask for written proof. It's your right to see something in writing that clearly shows you owe this money. Without it, there's no legal obligation to pay. Stand firm. If you gave money as a gift or helped out without expecting repayment, make that clear. Gifts aren't loans, and you don't owe money just because someone says so. Don't be pressured. Some people might try to rush you or make you feel bad. Take your time and don't agree to anything you're unsure about. Seek help if needed. If the situation becomes stressful or someone is threatening you, reach out to legal aid organizations that help seniors. They can advise you on your rights and what steps to take next. Remember, your peace of mind is important. You don't have to carry the weight of accusations without proof. Take your time, ask questions, and protect yourself. This is about standing up for what's fair and keeping your finances safe. 3. Utility bills for homes you no longer live in. It's frustrating to get utility bills for a house you don't even live in anymore. Maybe you moved to assisted living or a smaller place, but the gas, electricity, or water bills keep arriving for your old home. This can feel like someone is trying to take money from you unfairly, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed or confused. Here's what often happens. Sometimes utility companies don't get updated when you move out, or the landlord or new tenants accidentally leave your name on the account. In worse cases, scammers may send fake bills trying to trick you into paying money you don't owe. Here's what you can do. Ask for proof that your utility service was disconnected or transferred. When you moved, you should have called the utility company to close your account or switch it to the new tenant. If you didn't, contact the company now and ask them for a written confirmation showing the date your service ended. This is important because it proves you shouldn't owe for bills after that date. Contact your landlord or property manager. Let them know you're still getting bills. Sometimes they forget to update their records or send bills to the wrong person. They can help fix this so the bill goes to the right person. If you receive a bill, don't ignore it, but don't pay right away either. Instead, write a letter or email to the utility company explaining that you no longer live at that address and that you're requesting proof of service dates. Attach any documents you have that show when you moved out. Keep copies of all your communications. If the utility company or landlord continues to send bills or tries to charge you wrongly, having these records will help you dispute the charges. If needed, you can ask for help from a local senior legal aid organization to protect your rights. Remember, you should only be responsible for bills from the time you actually lived at that home. Don't let old utility bills cause you stress or take money that isn't yours to pay. 4. Debts from a relative who passed away. Losing a loved one is never easy. You're dealing with sadness, memories, and trying to adjust to a big change in your life. But sometimes, during this already tough time, you might start getting calls or letters asking you to pay bills or debts that belong to the relative who passed away. That can feel overwhelming and unfair. It's important to understand that in most cases, you are not responsible for debts left behind by someone who died, especially if you didn't sign or co-sign for those loans or credit accounts. The law protects you from being forced to pay these debts out of your own pocket. Unfortunately, debt collectors sometimes don't tell you this. They might call repeatedly, use pressure tactics, or try to make you feel guilty, as if you owe the debt just because of your relationship with the person who died. That's simply not true. Here are some clear steps you can take if you face this situation. Ask for proof of the debt. Request written documents that show the debt belongs to your loved one and that you are being contacted legally. If they can't provide proof, you don't have to pay anything. Don't admit or agree to pay. Even if you're upset or tired of the calls, don't say yes to anything on the phone or in writing. Any admission could be used against you later. Keep records of all communication. Write down dates, times, and what was said. This helps if you need to report harassment. Report harassment if needed. If debt collectors keep calling, use threats, or call at odd hours, you can file complaints with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, or your state's attorney general. They can investigate and stop illegal behavior. Remember, your responsibility is to protect your own finances, especially after losing someone dear. You deserve peace of mind during this emotional time. Don't let debt collectors add more stress or confusion. If you feel unsure, reach out to senior legal aid groups or community organizations that specialize in helping older adults. They can guide you step by step and make sure your rights are protected. 5. Very old debts that are no longer collectible. Sometimes, debts from a long time ago can come back to haunt you. Maybe a collector calls or sends letters about money you owed years ago. That can be scary, but here's the good news. There are laws that protect you from paying debts that are too old. Each state has what's called a statute of limitations. This is the amount of time a debt collector has to sue you to get money back. Once that time is over, they legally can't take you to court or force you to pay. But you need to be careful. If you accidentally say you'll pay or make a small payment, you might reset that time period and give them more power to collect. Here's what you should do if you get contacted about an old debt. Ask for a validation letter. This letter should show details about the debt, how much it is, who you owe it to, and when it was originally due. This helps you check if the debt is even valid. Check the date on the debt. If it's older than the statute of limitations in your state, you have the right to tell the collector to stop contacting you. This is called a cease and desist request. Don't admit to owing the debt or make any payments unless you are sure. Doing either can restart the clock and make the debt collectible again. Know your rights. You can find information about your state statute of limitations online or ask a local senior legal aid group. They can help you understand what debts can still be collected and what debts are too old. Dealing with old debts can be stressful, but understanding these rules gives you power. You don't have to be scared or feel pressured to pay what you don't legally owe. 6. Fake bills from scams or fraud. It's heartbreaking how scammers target seniors with fake bills that look so real. These bills can have official-looking logos, account numbers, and even urgent messages that make you feel like you must pay immediately. They might say you owe money for something you never bought or a service you never used. One of their sneaky tricks is asking for payment in gift cards or wire transfers. Real companies almost never ask for money that way. If someone pressures you to pay quickly and in unusual ways, be very cautious. Here are some warning signs to watch out for. The bill demands immediate payment and won't give you time to ask questions. The company's name or contact information is vague or hard to verify. There is no clear record of the service or product they say you owe for. If you receive a suspicious bill, don't pay right away. Ask the company to send you detailed proof showing what you owe, including dates, services, and amounts. Check the company's reputation online. Look for reviews or warnings from other people who might have been scammed. Report any scam attempts to trusted agencies like the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, ScamWatch, or Action Fraud UK. These groups help protect seniors and can guide you on what to do next. Scammers count on making you feel rushed and worried. Take your time, stay calm, and talk to someone you trust if you're unsure. Protecting your peace of mind is just as important as protecting your money. You've just learned some really important ways to protect yourself from bills and debts that aren't really yours. It's surprising how many tricky situations can come up, isn't it? I'd love to hear from you. What surprised you the most? Or maybe you've had an experience like this yourself. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Remember, you've earned your peace of mind. Knowing these tips gives you the power to stand strong and protect yourself. If you found this helpful, please like this video, share it with your friends or family, and subscribe for more tips made just for seniors like you. Take care and stay safe.